no matter what your practice area is, you need to constantly keep a pulse on what's happening in the legal industry, right? I know some people think, oh, I have my job, I'm in it, I'm safe. That's the worst way of thinking, right? No job is safe. I have learned that, as a consultant. Projects come and go, they have budgets, you're working, and then it gets cut, and they have to cut people. It happens all the time, right? No job is safe. What you want to do is, if you want to constantly keep a pulse on what's happening, right? Well, what's happening in your practice area, right? And what's happening in the legal industry. So of course, we're looking at on a micro and a macro sense. So on a micro, we're going to see maybe what cases are coming out, what new case law, what's happening that's going to impact, right, the way our clients are going to interact with us, how our advice or how our role as counselors are going to interact, and and usually that happens just by seeing what law is out and what case law and things like that. And that's more of a micro. Now, in a macro sense, what we need to look at is, okay, what larger overarching things that are being implemented that are going to trickle down and impact us, right? Because you're looking at the micro, so many times we look at the micro and just in our little bubble and bankruptcy and only impacting bankruptcy and not paying attention to, okay, well, what's happening in the broader area of the world, right? And when you're looking at that, we need to look at areas like blockchain, right? Blockchain is more of a macro thing, and that it's impacting all areas that then are going to come down and trickle down into specific practice areas, right? So bankruptcy, for example, there are now companies that are, if you have individual or corporate bankruptcy. So corporate bankruptcy, there are tons of companies who had initial coin offerings, raised money for a cryptocurrency or blockchain related project, but now they went bankrupt. So how do we deal with that? How do we approach that, right? But if you're not aware that blockchain and cryptocurrencies are this thing and exactly how they're impacting your field, the clients that have those issues, they're not going to go to you. They're going to go to somebody else because you're not out there. You don't have the pulse. You don't know what's happening. Now, if you're doing personal, right, there's people who are going through bankruptcy, but maybe they have some digital currency, right? So if that's the case, that's property. How are we dealing with that? How is that going to be taken care of, right? So again, having to keep a pulse on what's happening in the legal industry, both not just on a micro level, but on a macro level, seeing what technologies are being created. And I think that's going to give you the best chance to see, how they can and will affect your practice. Up-and-coming blockchain platform Jur, J-U-R, they're working on providing a simple way for businesses to manage electronic agreements, right? So the platform allows users to easily create like smart legal agreements using different, drafting wizards, which thereby will eliminate the need for costly legal documentation. So these platforms are working to try to take you out of a job, right? And it also has an escrow function where funds are only released to a party once the conditions set and the agreements are satisfied, right? So realize that, like, these are things that are happening right now. How are you working to ensure that, your clients are properly safeguarded, right? And not only that, how that your job is safeguarded. If you're not looking at the macro, only focusing on the micro, only focusing on specifically just bankruptcy, you're going to miss and not see the forest through the trees. All right. So if you want to, keep your head and constantly keep ahead in your industry, then no matter what your practice area is, the ultimate advice that you just have to keep your eye open and see what's happening. If you keep your pulse on the market, you're in a great position. So that's that. Let me know what you guys think. If you, based on what you hear about that legal documentation platform, what's your thoughts? And if you think you're worried, not worried, love to hear your opinion. All right. Talk to you guys later.